Race 1 here at Monza for the Temple of Speed. It's Marta Garcia on pole. It's eyes to the lights and foot to the floor as we go racing in F1 Academy. And it's a good start from the red and white Prema of Marta Garcia ahead of Lena Buller and Abby Pulling in the all-pink Rodin Carlin. Hamda Al-Khabaisi gets away from the pit lane as they make their way to the first braking zone of the year. And there's a huge shunt to the back. It's Chloe Grant in the ART car. Upside down. There's contact as well with one of the Premas, and that is a huge shunt. Let's get another look at it then. So look in the back of the pack, you can see there, bit late on the brakes, no gap in front of her, and all that's left to do is to hit, first of all, it's actually Amna Al-Khabaisi she hits in the MP Motorsport car, then Bustamante, and I think Schreiner, another innocent victim there from her teammate in front as well. Flames out the back. Scary for Chloe Grant. Straight over the back into turn 1. It's the biggest braking zone of the year that they face. Thankfully, the Halo doing its job. The safety infrastructure implemented on these F1 Academy cars, making sure that Chloe Grant is able to safely walk away from that one. Race back underway then, green flag out, and it is once again Marta Garcia, our championship leader in the red and white Prema, who leads from the Sauberback Swiss of Lena Buller, and it's slipstream central on the way down to turn 1. It's Garcia, Buller, followed by Pulling, then comes Megan Gilks, all into turn 1, Nerea Marti, followed by Jess Edgar. They all safely make their way through turns 1 and 2. Nerea Marti under pressure from Jess Edgar in the Rodin Carlin. The Rodin Carlin on the left-hand side trying to make it down the inside through the first Lesmo. Marti forced to the outside, has to yield. Edgar makes her way through. Side by side on the rundown to Ascari, Nerea Marti. Right behind Amna Al-Khabaisi, who has a little bit of a wobble, gets onto the gravel, keeps it pointing in a straight line, but that allows Marti to get on the left-hand side of her, and two MPs going side by side, Emily de Hoos and Amna Al-Khabaisi. Back onto the main straights. Garcia giving a nice toe to Buller. Garcia has to take the inside line to defend. Buller's going to try and sweep round the outside. Brave move from Buller. Garcia forces her out wide, and that's going to allow Pulling to come into action here. But also then Pulling gets shoved down onto the gravel, and that brings in the other Rodin Carlins of Jilks and Edgar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars all fighting it out for the podium positions here in Monza through Curva Grande. It's all three Rodin Carlins scrapping for third at the moment, but that's not all. The lead is not yet decided. Garcia is coming under huge pressure from Lena Buller, who is also involved in the championship fight. It's the final lap here for race 1, and the lead is far from sorted. It's Marta Garcia who has it at the moment, but Buller pulls out as they enter the final corner. The fight for third place and second still rages on as well behind, with the two Rodin Carlins. Make that 3 Rodin Carlins. But who's going to win this race round the Parabolica? It's going to be a drag race to the line. Is it going to be Garcia or Buller? It's Garcia on the line. The Prema racer nicks it by a whisker from Lena Buller, and it's Jess Edgar who steals the final spot on the podium. And how is that for a photo finish? 9 thousandths of a second, and Garcia wins ahead of Buller and Jess Edgar. What a start to the weekend for F1 Academy. One of the closest finishes we've seen at F1 Academy then, and it was Marta Garcia who won just in front of Lena Buller, with Jess Edgar stealing the final spot on the podium from her two teammates, Abby Pulling and Megan Jilks behind. Ailey the host rounded out the top 6. Marti, Hamda and Amna Alcabasi, the top 9 alone. Lovefoss stealing a point in 10th, followed by Chong and Maita Cáceres. We lost Carrie Schreiner, Bianca Bustamante and Chloe Grant after that huge shunt at the start of the race.
We even got to the finish line, I think like 0:09, so it's super close. But yeah, I think it was a good race. And yeah, I'm happy with the win, of course.
The medical team were really, really good. They got to me as soon as they could, and especially with the fire being inside the car, and I could see it just next to my arm. You know, as soon as they were over, I was out, and you know, I didn't feel anything. Hands slightly sore, but it's definitely not broken because I can move it. But the doctors have said it's a slight fracture is what they think, but I'll be all healed and ready for round 6 at Paul Ricard.
It's Amna Alcabasi on pole. It's all eyes to the lights and foot to the floor as we go racing in F1 Academy once again in Monza for race 2, and it's a good start from the orange MP Motorsport car of Amna Alcabasi. Nerea Marti in the Campos tucks in behind, but it should be Amna Alcabasi who has a clean run into turn 1, but she runs a little bit deep, forces Marti out wide and has to cut the corner. There's also a couple of cars cutting the corner behind as well, one of the Ronin Carlins and the Pramers. Marti then will have to give those positions back. She's on the outside line as they come through Curva Grande. And now Alcabasi trying to retake the lead, but we've also got an ART Grand Prix car. That's the number 8 car locking up as they come into the left-hander. It's Carrie Schreiner who is now under pressure. Look at that. Right in the toe as well is Hamda Alcabasi in the orange MP Motorsport car. Are we going to go 3 wide into turn 1? We might well go 4 wide. There's a Pramer in the background lurking too. Up front, Schreiner and Buller go side by side, but there's contact behind as well. A Rodin Carlin making contact with Hamda Alcabasi in the MP Motorsport car. That is disaster for Hamda's championship challenge. She's able to get back up and running again, but she has lost so much time. So important to get a little bit of toe here in Monza with these long straights. It's still Hamda Alcabasi who leads, but down into turn 1, Carrie Schreiner fighting with Lena Buller for the final podium spot. Amna Alcabasi from Nerea Marti, from Lena Buller, then comes Carrie Schreiner. Onto the back straight then, Amna Alcabasi leads, but Nerea Marti is under pressure here from Lena Buller. Marti on the inside, Buller on the outside. It's side by side through the final corner, but Buller gets the move done. Can Marti try and carry any more speed and fight back? She'll get a nice bit of slipstream down the front straights. Buller, the Sauber-backed Swiss, has the advantage over Marti for the time being, but Marti's going to fight back. She moves to the inside, late on the brakes for Marti. It's too late on the brakes for Marti. She gets the braking zone all wrong and collides with our leader, Amna Alcabasi, who can do nothing but get spun around. So this is the move then. She clouts that inside curve. She tries to bail out of it, but it's too late. And Amna Alcabasi is there to be collected. Buller now gets alongside the Sauber back driver who turns 26 this weekend. Will have the inside line and now gets ahead once again of Nerea Marti, who will have to be looking in her mirrors because Carrie Schreiner is right up behind her. Side by side through the final corner, it's Bustamante who's just going to get in front of Carrie Schreiner. There is nothing between them, a couple of inches at best. It's going to be Schreiner, the German racer who stood on the top step of the podium last time out in Zandvoort for the first time. She'll have the inside line, but she can't brake late enough, and it's Bustamante who gets the job done. Meanwhile, contact further back between Nerea Marti and Amelie de Hoos in the MP Motorsport car, but they get away with it. But this battle still raging on then. Buller having to fall behind Bustamante, but she can't quite pull the move off and has to cut the corner. I wonder if that'll be looked at. I might suggests she'll have to give that position back. And I think she does. Buller gets back through on Bianca Bustamante. Nice battle for sixth developing here with Marta Garcia in the red and white Prema going late on the brakes into turn 1 and 2 in front of Amelie de Hoos in the MP Motorsport car towards the De La Rocha chicane, and Garcia coming across into the braking zone it seems, and Amelie de Hoos left with nowhere to go, up in the air and goes flying out of this race. Across the line then, it's close in Monza, it always is, but this time it's Lena Buller, Bustamante in second, pulling in third, but she is not happy with Bianca Bustamante. It's Lena Buller who gets the deal done and wins race 2. So at the end of race 2 then, Lena Buller wins out from Bustamante and pulling the top 3. Schreiner, Edgar the top 5, Marta Garcia in 6th in front of Anna Alquibasi. Then came Maita Cáceres, Chloe Chong and Handa Alquibasi rounded out the top 10 after receiving a penalty for that incident with Megan Gilks. Marty, Amelie de Hoos and Lola Lovenfoss, the 13 finishers. We lost Gilks and Chloe Grant, not taking part in the rest of the weekend.
I start P5, I take a good start, managed to be P4 and try to do my best all the race. I managed to stay P1 because Bianca was quite fast behind me, and yeah, I'm really happy.
Final race of the weekend then for F1 Academy. It's pulling on pole. Alongside her is Bustamante. It's eyes to the lights and foot to the floor as we go racing in Monza. Pulling then with a good getaway from the lead. Has to cut right across to defend from Bianca Bustamante in the red and white Prema, who will have the outside line going into turn 1. The 2 MP Motorsport cars behind. Line astern, but there's contact at the back and a spinner out of this race. It's one of the MP Motorsport cars. So while there's the battle up front, we wait and see an MP Motorsport car go flying, and it's Amelie de Hoos coming a cropper. Down the back straights, approaching the final corner, pulling still ahead of Bustamante. Then comes Handa Alquibasi. Marta Garcia spinning out in the final corner. Slight contact there from Buller as they both make their way through the right-hander, and that is disaster for our championship leader, Marta Garcia, who falls all the way to the back. The sun shining down here in Monza on Abby pulling for the time being, but she is under pressure still from Bianca Bustamante and Handa Alquibasi. This battle for the lead is absolutely enthralling. They've been enthralling all weekend long, and it's going to be not round the outside at Curva Grande. Bianca Bustamante almost forced into the grass by pulling. It's respectful racing. She leaves her just about a car's width of room, and into the braking zone, it's Bianca Bustamante who gets through on pulling. In the fight for second now, it's side by side once again, but Handa Alquibasi with the toe, able to carry that bit more speed. Pulling to the inside, Bustamante into turn 1, but she's collected by Handa Alquibasi, who gets her braking wrong and hits right into the back of Bustamante. Disaster once again for Handa, whose championship challenge is fading away. Let's get another look at this then. So she just brakes a little bit too late. And unfortunately, Bustamante is there to stop her. You can see what it means, because this is real damage to her championship challenge, with Garcia and Buller still being able to pick up some good points and Handa Alquibasi not scoring. Monza, what a place to come for F1 Academy. It has been the perfect ground for some excellent racing, which continues. Megan Gilks, though, runs slightly out wide on the second Lesmo, gets onto the gravel and spins out of this race. Gilks is out. So Megan Gilks running out into the exit of the second Lesmo, almost gets a little bit of a push as well from Lola Lovenfoss. Back underway then, and it'll be a sprint to the finish for race 3 for F1 Academy. And now Kubasi in the MP Motorsport under pressure from Nerea Marti for third, but the lead is what we will focus on because it's Bianca Bustamante out in front. Abby pulling, not willing to give up without a fight. Into turn one we go. And now Kubasi has to take avoiding action and cut the chicane. You might well have to give that back to Nerea Marti, and that does happen. Marti sweeps round the outside through Curva Grande. Late on the brakes and down the inside for Amna Al-Qubaisi. There was no way she was making the corner, and she doesn't. Not sure she'll be allowed to get away with that. Nobody wants to give a toe to anybody. It's Schreiner in the black and white ART who was about to be surrounded by Marta Garcia to her right, Lena Buller to her left as Amna Al-Qubaisi and Nerea Marti continue to fight, but Buller gets the braking wrong and she has to take to the escape road. Little bit of a lock-up as well, and she hits the polystyrene hoarding for good measure. Buller falls down the order. And Al-Qubaisi and Nerea Marti going toe-to-toe once again. Al-Qubaisi having to take to the runoff area, but there's a big lock-up in the background as well. Maita Cáceres in the Campos off the track. Has she been caught up in an incident? I think she has. Chloe Chong with big contact. Can we see what happened here? Chong in the Prema just into the braking zone, hitting the rear of Maita Cáceres. Sends Cáceres spinning out and Chong out of this race. Safety car then brought out for that incident at the end means that Bustamante crosses the line to take her second win in F1 Academy. The Prema team celebrate with smiles all round. A second win of the season for Bianca Bustamante, who is happy, emotional about one. The Philippines will go crazy for that. And a job well done for Bianca Bustamante. Well, it was Bianca Bustamante who took her second win of the season in front of Abby Pulling, and Nerea Marti promoted onto the podium after a penalty for Amna Al-Qubaisi. Marta Garcia picking up valuable points for her championship charge, rounds out the top 5 in front of Schreiner, Lovenfoss, Edgar, Emily DeHoos and Lena Buller, the top 10. Then Maita Cáceres and Chloe Chong with that incident right at the end, bringing out the safety car, and of course we lost Hamda Al-Qubaisi during the race.
When I went on top of the podium, I heard them chanting my name, and really that just got me crying again. To hear the anthem played and the Italian fans cheering me on, I just felt right at home.
Well, this is how the Drivers' Championship looks then at the end of 3 races here in Monza, and it's once again Marta Garcia who is still leading and actually extends her gap. 36 points now clear at the top from Hamda Al-Qubaisi. Lena Buller just 7 points behind Hamda in third. Pulling, Marti rounding out the top 5. Bustamante, Amna Al-Qubaisi, Emily DeHoos, Jess Edgar and Carrie Schreiner the top 10. Lovenfoss, Grant, Jilks, Chong and Maita Cáceres picks up another point in F1 Academy in 15th. Over the teams, and it is closed up dramatically at the top. MP Motorsport still lead, but the gap now to Prema just 26 points. ART in third, with Rodin Carlin and Campos rounding out the top 5. Well, F1 Academy racing comes to a close here in Monza. Just 2 rounds remaining for the inaugural season. Next up, Paul Ricard.